Hi guys, and welcome back to day 20 of Inktober. This piece, I was another one of those late night get Inktober done pieces, and honestly I feel like those are the times that I feel the most focused. So I really actually like working late at night on pieces like this. I might have to be naughty and stay up late and work on art some more, but today I'm going to be doing the Starving Artist tag. So we'll be watching Inktober down below, and then I will be talking about art stuff. But just a quick thing, I will have all of the tools that I use down in the description, so if you're curious what I'm using, it'll be down there. And also for this piece, the line work that I went in with a waterproof ink, so it was Higgins Black Magic. And for the ink wash, I made sure that I was using an ink that was water soluble, which is also down in the description. And that way I just made sure that the ink washes were behaving the way I wanted them to. And the line work was absolutely not going to budge. So I did end up using 2 inks for this. But a little bit more about the tag. I was tagged to do this by Aspen, who is also on YouTube and has an amazing channel. I love her style because she has this almost this very cute look, but with these scarier themes, and combines them into these really beautiful little illustrations. I absolutely love her style. I love her videos. I watch them all the time. They're like the perfect combination of what I like in a lot of the artwork that I do like. So I will have a link right in the description where you can check her out. And she also did the Starving Artist challenge tag. There's no challenge in there, but I'll link it down below so that you can check out her video and what she talks about and see more of her Inktobers, because they're really great. I love them. But yeah, we can go ahead and get started into actually answering some of these questions. Okay, so the first question of this tag is, what's your favorite experience as an artist? And I would definitely say that by far my favorite experiences, the times that I've felt the most passionate and excited to draw and just to create, is when I've been surrounded by other people who have those same passions and excitement and energy, and I've just been able to feed off that, and it's been really amazing. And specifically the places that I've been able to experience that kind of shared enthusiasm for it has been when I was going to school. Some of my later classes, it was full of people who were really very passionate and excited and very driven in the art that they were creating, and being in those classes just felt really energizing. It made me want to go home and create, and it made everyone else feel really excited to put up their pieces. We could start critiquing it and finding ways to make each other better. So definitely when I've been in a very special type of class environment, I felt really, really excited and ready to create new stuff, and like I was progressing and learning. And also last year I was able to go to CTN, which is a convention that's focused specifically on the creators, so the artists behind animation and illustration. And there it was just so much extreme amount of passion and excitement for the future and for what was happening and all these things happening in film. So it was just a really amazing experience to be a part of, and to know that, well, I was an artist too, and I was learning from these experiences and being able to share my experiences with other artists. And it was an incredible time where I was just so motivated and buzzing with energy once I was done with it. And the second question is, what is my least favorite experience as an artist? I probably have kind of a few answers to this one, but I think one of the main ones is when I feel really down about my work. When I'm looking at the body of work that I've created and I feel so unsatisfied with it, or I'll see another artist who's like 2 years younger than me and they're creating pieces that are so far superior to mine, and then I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I'm actually not that good, am I? Maybe I'm not going to be able to make it. Maybe this isn't really worth it. And it's really hard when you have those times when it feels very negative. And I think that's just the thing about art as a career, is that it's very personal. It is who you are. It's what you are creating. So when it feels like it's not quite being what you want it to be, it can be very, very saddening. It can be really hard to deal with that. But I am trying very hard, and I think that I've been doing pretty good at keeping myself positive about what I'm creating and motivated towards the future, and less about the mistakes that I made in the past. And the next question is, what are your dreams/goals for your art? This one's one that I've had for a long time, and I haven't made it happen yet, which is another really frustrating thing. But I really want to be able to create a comic book or a graphic novel. I want to put a story out there, and that idea just sounds like it's the goal that I need to be working on. So that would definitely be my all-time dream, would be to have a complete story that I'm proud of and I feel like it's conveying what I want it to. So that idea sounds really exciting to me. So that's what I'm very steadily working towards. Okay, what is your favorite medium and why? My definite all-time favorite is digital. And the reason I love it so much is because of the extreme amount of control that I have over it and the amount of details that I can put into it. Because when I'm working digitally, I can change anything at any time. I can change the color palette and then suddenly it has a different mood, and I can go in and fix this glaring mistake and make it right, so it's a much stronger, better piece. So the ability to make it exactly the piece that I want it to, and to be able to change it throughout the entire process and not to have to be stuck with what I've already created, is a very exciting feeling. It does definitely make me happy to be able to know that I can make it the way I want it to completely. But as far as traditional, I would say that watercolor is my favorite. I love the process of doing the ink work, so the line work, and then I love that tactile feeling of spreading the ink washes over that really thick paper. So I think more of the just like the visceral joy of creating art would be in the watercolor, but the actual final piece of making sure that it was what I wanted it to be is definitely the digital, hands down. All right, what inspired you to do art / why do you love it? This is a really general question. I'll start with probably my first memory of ever feeling inspired to create art, or that drive to create something better than I was capable of. And that was definitely from the little manuals that come with video games. So like Legend of Zelda was a big one, but I think the biggest memory I have was from Final Fantasy Tactics. That little manual in the front had all these character designs, it had scenery, and it was just so gorgeous. And I was just this little kid looking at this book, and I thought it was absolutely the most amazing thing that I had ever seen. And I studied that little manual booklet for hours and hours, and I tried to replicate the drawings, and that was definitely the first time that I really remember feeling that drive to create better work and to find a way to put down what I was actually thinking into a drawing. So that was actually a really amazing time for me when I felt that ready and gung-ho to create artwork. And the next question is, what's your favorite piece you've ever made and why is it so special? I don't think that I have a favorite piece ever that will always be a favorite piece or is a favorite piece, but I mean, I tend to like the one that I'm creating at the moment, and then I'm more excited about the next one. And yeah, so I would definitely wouldn't say that I have a favorite, but my most favorite right now is one that I actually haven't been able to show you yet, and I can show you in about a month, because it's part of a really cool project where there's a bunch of artists that I went to school with, and we created this book with illustrations based off of songs that we suggested. And one of those illustrations that I did, which I'll actually put a sneak peek right next to me so you can kind of see a little bit, but that piece was based on a song that I suggested, and it's one that I love a lot. It just means a lot to me, and it's one of the ones that gets me really inspired to create artwork, and it has a lot of the emotions that I want to portray in my pieces. So I love this song, and working on a piece that was inspired by that was just so exciting, because I was seeing that I was able to put these emotions and the mood that I wanted down into the piece and take that raw inspiration and turn it into actual artwork that I loved. Was really exciting, because there's a lot of times that I feel like I come short with that, where I don't quite get the emotion that I want, and it tends to be a little bit more flat and sterile. So being able to see this piece that I was creating that really did draw back to what inspires me and the kind of art that I really want to be able to be creating was really, really exciting. So I would definitely say that one's my most favorite as of right now. But oh, and if you're curious what song I did base this off of, it's Sewing Season by Brand New, and that whole album is absolutely fantastic, so you should listen to it if you haven't yet. Who / what are your biggest art influences? I already mentioned music is probably my most inspirational element for me, but some of the people or the artists that really inspire me is Alphonse Mucha. His work has this absolutely beautiful flow to it, and the characters are phenomenal. So definitely him. I've always loved his work. Claire Hummel has absolutely gorgeous line work and characters, so I always looked up to her while I was growing up and looking at my own art. And also Studio Ghibli movies. I know that I am not alone in that one. The movies are just so dreamlike and beautiful, and there's just so much inspiration as far as creating that kind of an artwork. So it was definitely one of my favorite places to get inspiration and ideas for pieces. All right, what did you learn from being a full-time artist? I definitely learned that the business side of things is equally as important as the creating the art. And there's a long time where I felt almost guilty when I was working on business stuff or posting my pieces even, and I felt like I was spending too much time on that and I needed to get back to the core of my career, and that was creating artwork. And that is definitely the wrong way to feel, because it was just so stressful. Every time I was working on things that I needed to work on but wasn't art, I was feeling really stressed out because I felt like I was doing the wrong thing or spending too much time on that. And definitely the realization that that is equally important, and that I need to be able to focus on what I am doing and let myself work on it and not feel that pull to have to do something else. That has helped me so much, and it's helped me when I'm creating art to be able to just immerse myself into that, knowing that this is art time and I'm going to create art, and when it's business time, I'm going to do business. What do your family and friends think about you being an artist? I don't know. I think they think it's cool. My parents are very, very supportive, and that's always exciting. They're always very invested in the new pieces that I'm doing and how I'm doing as an artist, so they are definitely really excited and happy for me, and that helps me stay excited and happy for myself as well. So they're a huge influence as far as me feeling motivated. Was becoming an artist your childhood dream? If not, what was it? Yes, it was, but it wasn't so much that I saw like one day I'll be an artist. It was more like I was always an artist, and it was just kind of like a path from being an artist into being a paid artist. All right, what advice can you give to people who want to be more artistic or creative? I would definitely say find sources of inspiration. I know I talk about that a lot, but you can't make something out of nothing. You can't make ideas when you have nothing in your head. So you need to, that's what I always do when I want to be more creative or I want to be able to create better pieces, is I go out and I look at really amazing imagery. I listen to great music that puts moods and ideas into my head. I watch movies are really incredible and have that cinematography that I love. So if you want to be more creative, seek out sources that are very creative, that give you that inspiration, that speak to you as a person and ties back to what you find important, and that'll just help kickstart that direction of being creative. All right, were you supported to pursue art as a child? I kind of already answered that, but yes, I was. My parents were always very supportive. Do you make money off your art? Yes, I am slowly making it up to the point of it being good and viable, but yes, I do. What do you want to improve? What do you want to improve on / inspire to be your future art? That's kind of like the earlier question. I would say, as far as like skill based, definitely I want to be able to create more dynamic figures. I feel very limited as far as like the way that I draw them. I feel like they don't have the same like energy and emotion that I want out of them. So my definite goal would be to be able to feel a lot more in sync with drawing the body and just knowing how it moves and how to position it and how to draw it in a really beautiful, dynamic way. So that is definitely my art skills goal. All right, what feelings do you try to express in your art? I wouldn't say that I feel successful as far as putting in these feelings into my pieces, but the things that make me feel most inspired and excited to create art are actually kind of negative feelings. I tend to try to think of characters and their emotions, and I usually end up thinking about characters who are lonely or scared or worried or anxious about things, and those are the things that make me want to create art. I want to show those characters and these raw emotions, and I think it's probably just because those emotions I find very empathetic towards. So being able to create characters that have those emotions that are hard and it just gives them a little bit more humanity to me, and it gives me story ideas that I want to create. And that's the kind of process that I have, is I like to think about characters and stories and what's happening to them and why are they feeling that way. And that's usually kind of the emotional realm that I end up thinking about when I'm creating my pieces. What is your favorite thing to paint and why? I, by and large, much prefer drawing people. I want to be able to have a story and a person behind it. So I love drawing characters with details that hint at a story that's happening to them and they're living it, and these emotions that they have. I find that really compelling. What's the strangest thing you painted? I probably painted some really weird things as a kid. Probably the most recent, which really isn't that strange, is my life painting. Her neck is like slashed and her head is kind of floating above it. I'll show you a clip right next to me, but that's probably strange. Do you admit that paint smells good? I love the smell of paint. I love it so much. I actually love it way too much. I love the smell of gasoline too. I just love chemically smells. But it's probably a good thing that I don't paint with really smelly paints, because I would probably try to smell it too much. It does smell delicious. I love it. And the final question is, what would you tell your younger self? I would definitely tell myself, stop being so lazy, be more productive, and be more proactive with learning the trade that you want to be a professional at. Study anatomy, draw it, get better at it. That would make me a lot better at anatomy if my younger self had been better at drawing that. So yes, study, learn, make sure that you are practicing every day, and very specifically, make sure you work on your art and make sure that you're working on your skills to get better and not just floating by with the natural progression. Don't do that. Also, I would say definitely get your work out there sooner. I didn't do that until very recently, and I wish that I could have had that building up and that support in having my work out there and being able to get my work out there and get that experience of being part of the world of art. So yeah, practice more, get my work out there. And that is it. That was probably my longest video to date. Well, it is my longest video to date, but yeah, that was really fun to answer those questions. But again, I'll give another shout out to Aspen Fisher, the one who tagged me, because she has a lot of really great, especially Inktober's. So if you want to see more Inktober pieces that are great and have a lot of story and a little bit of a creepy element, definitely check her out. There's the link down below in the description. I'm all out of words now that I've said all of them, but as for this piece, she is, as usual, the original is available on my shop, so if you wanted to pick one up, this would be a good time. And yeah, there will be a link at the very bottom of this video where you can take you to my shop. There's also one down in the description at all times, so you can check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another Inktober.